Level 2 of communication is this, being able to explain the gospel. This is level 2. Now, no doubt, as the Christians were going, scattering, they were asked questions about why they were there. What I want you to see is they were able to answer those questions. The gospel is kind of a technical term for being able to share with people why Jesus died and rose again, and how to believe in him. That's what the gospel is, to be able to explain that to people. So that when someone asks, wow, your husband lost his job, you moved here, you gave up everything to be here? Who is this Jesus, and how do I know him? They can answer the question. That's explaining the gospel. That's not just the province for a pastor or a church leader. It's for each one of us to be able to do this. So what would you say if someone said, you go to church all the time, you're one of those Christians, yeah? I love Jesus. How do you get to know him? What would you say? Well, you see, the Holy Spirit, who's God, came to Mary. She's not God. And had Jesus, he's God, and he grew up and he multiplied loaves and fishes. And then when he walked on water, the Pharisees became sad, you see, and so they took up their crosses and they crucified him. And now, if you're just washed in the blood, you can be saved in his redemptive grace. What grade would you give me there? D. D? You would give me a D? I think I was an F. The gospel isn't that complicated. And there's different models we can learn to be able to share this. And I know that many of you who've been serving Christ for a while know these models, or maybe you've used them. Like the bridge. Let's show these next few slides. The bridge is a beautiful model for explaining the gospel. God created us to be in relationship with himself. We're to walk and talk with God. That's what he wanted. He wants us to be in a love relationship with him, just like Jesus with his disciples. But then we sinned. And that relationship with God was severed. Next slide. And now there is this chasm between us and God. God is holy. We are not. We deserve judgment for all the evil that's in us. And we know it's there. I know it's in me. And next slide. All the things that I try to do to get back to God and to find God and to impress God, all the good works I do, all the religion I practice, it can't bridge that gap. I can't do enough good for God to accept me. And so you know what God did? He sent Jesus. Next slide. He died on that cross. And he paid the price that my sins deserved. And now if I come to him, if I come to God through Jesus, and say, Lord, I believe your death on that cross was a sacrifice made for me, then I can be forgiven. I can have that relationship with God once again. And not only that, but Jesus will come and live in me through the Holy Spirit. He'll help me to live from here on out. This is the best thing I've ever experienced in my life, and I wish you would too. That's the bridge. You could draw it on a napkin with somebody. There's other models. There's one called Do Done. It sounds like an old Sean Cassidy song. Do Done Done. It's very simple. There's one called The Romans Road, which stitches together verses from Romans. You just memorize the verses. You've got the gospel laid out from Romans 1 to 6. Whatever model it is, learn it, practice it, pray about it, then use it. This is harder than level 1, sharing stories, because you have to memorize some stuff. And don't say, I can't memorize, because you're lying through your teeth. And let me prove it to you. Anybody over 40 can get this rhyme. To all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. And everyone under 40 is going like, ooh, let's get out of here now. What are we talking about?
Big Mac.
Ta-da! It was an old jingle from McDonald's in the 70s, and they played it so many times that if you lived to see it, you poor person, you have precious mental bandwidth that is being used to retain that jingle.